You have exactly 7.2 years to decide which side of the financial divide you want to live on. This isn't a random number based on the rule of 72. If you want to earn a standard 10% market return, your money doubles in precisely 7.2 years. If you fail to act within this window, you aren't just staying still. You are losing the one asset you can never buy back: time. Every person watching this is currently moving down one of two paths. Path A is the loser's game. This is the path of 95% of day traders who lose money, the meme stock chaser, and the speculators who see a 400% jump in GameStop and think they have found a strategy. Path B is the winner's game. This is the path of S&P 500, which has never lost money over any 20-year rolling period in history. By the end of this video, you will have a framework to exit Path A and secure your plan on Path B. Before we go deeper, you need to identify who you are in this narrative. Are you a retail investor coordinated through social media to provide liquidity during the COVID-19 crash, temporarily acting on collective intelligence, or you are an institutional informed trader acting on high conviction signals that predict 12% plus return is abnormal returns? If you don't know your type, you're likely the noise trader, the person who trades contains zero predictive information and simply serve as a food for the professionals. To understand why most people fail, we have to look at a plane from World War II. In 1940, military analysts wanted to reinforce parts of the plane that were coming back with most bullet holes. But a mathematician named Abraham Wald realized they were looking at the data upside down. The holes they should have been worried about were the ones on the plane that didn't come back. This is survivorship bias. In your feed, you see the Amazon or the Meta success stories, but the failed startups are removed from the index, creating an inflated, distorted view of reality. In the mutual fund world, poorly performing funds are often dissolved or merged, making the remaining market look much healthier than it actually is. If you only study the survivors, you are reinforcing the wrong part of your strategy. If our data is skewed by the winner who made it, how do we find a system that works even when you can't see the failures? The answer lies in a shift from a wide open system to a narrow, closed one. In 1957, S&P was an open system. Industries represented over 40% of the index, and the wealth was spread across hundreds of diverse companies. Today, we have moved into a closed system of concentration. As of early 2026, just 7 companies, the Magnificent Seven, Apple, Nvidia, Tesla, etc., accounts for 1/3 of the entire index value. This concentration magnifies both gains and losses. It means the market is no longer a broad bet on the economy. It is a high conviction bet on 7 tech CEOs. This structural shift is why you feel like you're falling behind, even when the market is up. You are likely holding a diversified 1957 style portfolio in a 2026 style concentrated world. This next segment is super nerdy, but it's the high value mathematical cheat code used by a Nobel Prize winner like William Sharpe. Most people think they can beat the market by being active, but the arithmetic of active management proves this is literally impossible for a group as a whole. Before cost, the return on average actively managed dollar must equal to the return on average passively managed dollar. But after cost, the fee, the broker, the analyst, the active manager must underperform. By simply choosing a low-cost index fund, you are mathematically guaranteed to outperform the majority of professionals over the long term. There's a war happening for your mindset. In one corner, you have Eugene Fama, the father of efficient market hypothesis, who argues that the price is always right because it reflects all available information. In the other corner, you have Robert Shiller, who argues that markets are driven by human noise, sentiments, and the mass psychology. Schiller famously called the idea that price equals value one of the most remarkable errors in the history of economic thoughts. Think about a closed-end fund. They hold a portfolio of stocks with a clear weekly value, yet they often trade at a 30% discount to the value. If the price is right, how can the same bundle of stocks be worth two different amounts at the same exact time? To win this battle, you need a margin of safety. This is the practical solution bridge. Stop looking for cheap stock and start looking for quality stock. Smart value investing isn't just about low PE ratio, it's about return on capital and earnings yield. Here's your immediate action item. Look for the $100,000 sweet spot. Reaching your first 100K is the hardest part of the journey, but once you hit it, compound interest begins to do the heavy lifting. At a 10% return, that 100K becomes 400K in 14 years without you adding another single dollar. The tool for this is automation. Set up transfer to your investment account right after your paycheck to remove the emotional burden of the decision. We don't have to guess how to analyze a company. We have the 10 commandments of financial statement analysis from the father of accounting. Thou shalt not use financial statement in isolation. You must look at the broader economy. Thou shalt not focus on a single number, like the net income. It can be manipulated. Thou shalt not ignore the footnotes, for that is where the skeleton of a company are hidden. Think of Ronald Read, the Vermont janitor who quietly amassed $8 million. He wasn't a genius. He simply bought the blue chip stocks like AT&T and Johnson & Johnson and reinvented the dividends for decades. He followed the winner's game by avoiding the disposition effect, the psychological urge to sell your winners too early and hold on to your loser because you don't want to admit you were wrong. We have to cover the arithmetic, the bias, and the concentrated system we live in. You know that 95% of the noise you hear is designed to make you fail. You know that the tyranny of compounding cost will eat 65% of your retirement wealth if you choose the wrong fund. But understanding the theory is only half the battle. The real question is, what does a high conviction portfolio looks like in a world dominated by Magnificent Seven? In my next video, I'm going to walk you through my personal 7.2-year plan, the exact index to quality ratio I'm using to hit my next 100K milestone, using the magic formula we discussed today. Until then, remember, the best day to start was yesterday. The second best day is today.